I have two words: Lori Harvey. Lori Harvey.
Exception to the rule. I don't even know who she is, but I bet you she's bringing up an exception to the rule to try and get guys to be like, "Don't worry."
No,
so
Sierra, Camilla Harris. I mean, there's so many.
There can be a million exceptions to the rule.
But guys, let's one. But sure, they haven't, number one, they haven't married yet, and we haven't seen how that marriage lasted.
Right?
No. They need the veto.
You can't talk until they've been married for 20 years.
Exactly.
They're about to get married.
No. We are talking about the process, according to you all, about men choosing. And my point in bringing up Lori Harvey is, no, she's not an exception to the rule. She's an example of the realities of human complexity and of the rundown that Journey just gave us. There are, please allow me to finish. There are women everywhere who have passed. There are women who everyone knows about their sexual history who are still getting chosen. Because men seem to prioritize their power to choose. And that it is a power that men have in order to choose. And you all tend to, which is why I don't like to focus on women prioritizing being chosen, because I know that the realities of it is what Journey said exactly. When a woman carries herself a certain way and knows who she is, and she's in tune with herself, and her energy literally affects her environment, and she has embodied and found that power within herself to affect a man. Listen, there are certain things that you all, I don't even
you're going on to your
understand, because you're men. And so you cannot.
No, don't say we can't understand something because we have a twig and berries. Like we have brains.
No. What I'm saying,
unless you're talking about
there are certain things about your experience as a man, and even the way that you have learned certain wisdoms that you've learned about relating to women, that one, if I heard it, I would be completely triggered by. But yet, in your experience as a man, you realize the value in it. And there will be there's just an experience that I cannot relate to. And what I am saying, the reason why you all think that it's comical that Journey can say a woman who is healed can have this type of effect on a man is because to not have that experience, and she's speaking from a perspective that literally only the woman can speak from.
Sure.
Any man, I wouldn't be surprised by any man hearing this being like, "This sounds nuts." You think
you made 3 points. Okay.
Go ahead.
Claudio, you can jump in quick. She made 3 points, and I have 3 little jots I wanted to address them on, but you go first.
I'm just saying one thing. The funny thing is, Lori Harvey was a woman that was considered for the streets until Michael B. Jordan picked her. He gave her value. Like Kim Kardashian. Kim Kardashian was for the streets until Kanye West picked her and make her an honest woman, like you guys say. The value, their image was clean when the guy that all women want picked them. So even when you say, "Oh, you need to be the one choosing instead of the guys choosing," no. The thing is, I know that you are not using that word because of my English, but the thing is, even the examples you gave is like me saying, "Oh, women don't like smaller guys." Then they did the veto when he was younger. He had all women. No, it's an exception. It's not the rule. So when you go to that exception, and when you go to women that have a scarred past, but they are picked up by the high value men, they are the exception and they are not the rule.
Yes.
The reason why you all can. Oh, sorry.
Before I pass it on to you to speak, all I'm saying is the women that you want to use example like Lori Harvey, right? Just give us an example of a woman that's been ran through, that's been promiscuous, that's had multiple sexual partners, that got married and it lasted over 20 years. So give me that. Give me.
Even if they're out there, there are exceptions to the rule because there's still that correlation that guys need to be aware of.
Talking about or discussing this entire time, you all are moving the goal.
No, we're not. You guys are saying exception to the rule 10 different ways. The
only reason why you all are saying this is the exception to the rules because I'm listing celebrities, and I'm only referencing celebrities because they are literally reference points. What I'm saying is me in my real life. I know plenty of women who aren't even good people, who have really good husbands, really good men who decided and chose them and chose to marry them.
I counsel a lot of them.
knowing
they sit
that
in
they
them at
were
table.
one, promiscuous, knowing that they were too demanding, knowing that they were self-absorbed, knowing that this narrative that women need to be perfect in order to find a mate. No. Well, I'm saying perfect. This narrative that women need to be pure, super uber feminine.
Acknowledge what men like.
Have it. No, hold on.
Way lower.
Because it's a purity rhetoric.
It's trying to equate it to perfection and purity. It's really just acknowledge what we like. You guys aren't even saying we're saying we prefer women that aren't as promiscuous. We pick up on these thousands of little things and even big things that culminate in failures for relationships and marriages. And we see this happening in real time. And there are these societal level trends that all these little thousand things, like I used one example of, culminate in, like the trend of divorces going up as sexual partners going up, the intensity of the love chemical in your brain being produced, oxytocin going down as sexual partners go up. So if guys listen to the advice you guys gave before Claudio and I responded, it would be, so what, she likes to wear a G-string on Instagram and flirt with those rules of how much skin you can show. So what if she is flirty with my friends? Because there's plenty of women out there that are in successful marriages that have flirted with the guy she's interested friends. So what if she has 200 sexual partners in her past? She's no more likely to divorce me than the woman with 2 or 0. That's what, if a guy were to take your guys' advice, just completely toss out all those correlations, all those little things that add up to these trends, and wife up that woman who has 5 kids with 5 different men that has the OnlyFans and booty pictures on Instagram. We can use the tinier examples. We can use the tinier examples, and we can say that there is no correlation between trauma and all those things. But when we said you were using exceptions to the rule, you changed it to complexity. And again, all those trends that I just mentioned, you're saying to throw it out because humans are complex. Yes, we are complex. And you have to distill this. Being an economics major, we know you have to distill things down to variables. And once you identify a variable, as this variable goes up, the rate at which people get divorced goes up, it only explains 2% of the divorce rate. Then you move on to the next variable. Okay, as this goes up or down, that has a negative correlation with the divorce rate. That's another 2% of what fully explains the divorce rate. And you're saying there's no perfect correlation. Look at this person, look at that person, look at this person. So what about your trend? You're not disproving the trend, but you're just saying throw it all out the window because humans are complex. And that's very dangerous for guys to do. That's literally your response to me saying that you are using exceptions to the rule. You fell back on complexity. And then you gave another exception to the rule.
That was not my literal response, because had you originally said what you just said, I don't think me nor Journey was arguing against that.
No.
You all were making absolutes. What you just said was not an absolute. Hold on. No, you pointed out the probability and preference. Just now when you were speaking, you just spoke to preference. Okay. I would never argue with anybody about their preference. I don't do that. That's illogical and stupid. No, we weren't talking about preference.
But that's the road that men will go down if they...
Hold on. We weren't having a conversation about preferences before. What we were having a conversation about was that this is what absolutely happens. What we offered up and what Journey went into detail about is like, yes, that can happen. However, when this variable comes into play, this is often the result.
Yeah, I got
no one is saying that it changes the trend. What we're saying is, and even to what Claudio said, is I'm not arguing that. What I'm saying is women like that you said Claudio highlighted that these men brought value or restored the reputation of these women as they made honest women out of them. All my point is that there will continue
temporarily.
There will continue to be men who restore those types
of that's temporary. They just had eyes on them now. Like their value went up a little bit because they started to date, who's who, but that's not going to last.
And you guys,
but again, we were never talking about marriage. We were talking about these types of women being chosen by men to be taken seriously and to connect with.
That's Claudio's point. Yeah, we were like we were well into the conversation before that, though. I think you misunderstood the statistic that I gave, where the body count one that Jordy had a good response to, where I said people who marry people who's at the time of their marriage, their wife is a virgin, 80+% marital success rate, that's not a guarantee and that's not an absolution. That's an average, which still is relevant, and it's a relevant statistic. There's still that 20% of people who marry a virgin wife and the marriage fails. And then I said is they go to 2 to 3 partners. Average, like it was a 53% marital success rate or divorce rate. That's still an average. That's not an absolution. It's a trend. And it went, the marital success rate went down like that and leveled out around like 10 or 12% as women got more partners. So it wasn't an absolution, it was an average, but it was based on a societal wide trend, cross country, cross cultural.